Well, look who it is. Liking what you've done with the place, boss. Gang certainly seem pleased with their new little kingdoms. Haven't seen people this revved up since last time someone spiked the water fountains. Never formally introduced myself. Name's Shank. And if you and Nuka World's favorite Cyclops are standing here, well, I suppose he expects you might be the one to finally get things back on track. How long it take him to convince you it was time to move on the Commonwealth?
Hey now, no convincing, just a friendly conversation between like-minded individuals.
Let's get one thing straight here. It may have been his suggestion, but it'll be my decision.
I can see that. Well, regardless of the source, idea's a good one. Giving the gang spots to call their own around the park, it bought you some goodwill. But providing them with their own domains, carved from the settlements of the Commonwealth, well, I can't think of a better way to solidify your place around here. Plus, make us all a pretty penny along the way. If that interests you, well, all you've got to do is say the word, and we can let the fun begin.
I wanted to ask about your role in this.
I'm listening.
So what exactly is it you do?
I'll walk you through all the ins and outs of getting us established on the other side of those mountains. Claiming territory, running jobs, keeping folks loyal. Gage and Coulter also tasked me with keeping on top of the goings-on back there. So I'll provide you with guidance on the places we can hit and the places we can't. Kind of makes me your one-stop shop for causing havoc in the Commonwealth.
Which gang do you work for?
Don't work for the gangs. Gage brought me in to work for the overboss. Plan was I'd advise Coulter in his grand scheme to run roughshod over the Commonwealth. And despite Coulter's change of heart, I've kept my ear to the ground, just in case that day ever came. I'm hoping today might finally be it.
What is it that you get out of helping me do this?
I've been well taken care of up to this point. I ain't greedy, but people with my kind of talents aren't common. All I'm looking for is a continuation of the lifestyle I've become accustomed to, and the same piece of the Commonwealth pie everyone else around here has been itching to take a bite of.
That was all I had?
So, does that mean you're ready to begin?
Okay, let's get started.
Music to my ears.
Shank ain't kidding. This is gonna be all kinds of fun.
So getting us set up in the Commonwealth's gonna require 3 things. Territory, provisions, and loyalty. First things first, territory. We're gonna need to claim a settlement for our gang to work from, an outpost. And there are 2 ways to claim new territory. You can head in yourself and convince the locals to leave, or I can get a crew together and you all can put them in the dirt. How you do it is up to you. So, first big decision. You want to talk them off their land, or you want to wipe them out?
I think you know what I'd rather do, boss.
How does that choice affect our bottom line?
Well, settlers will probably rally some bodies if you try and wipe them out, but it's a guaranteed way to claim a spot. If you try to scare them off their land, there's a chance they might just tell you to take a hike. At that point, you might be able to buy them off. But it could end up getting expensive if you don't work them over a bit first. Beyond just that, there are some places out there overrun with trouble. Ghouls, children of Adam and the like. Those places aren't going to be interested in having a chat. So you're going to have more options if you go in guns blazing.
Get a gang together. Those settlers are as good as dead.
Stick with the classics. Now, once you and the crew have cleaned the place out, those lucky girls and boys will move in and start working the place. Of course, every outpost you claim for a gang is going to be something the other gangs don't have. And none of them like the thought of their rivals getting a leg up on them. Worth thinking over as you dole out more territory. So, which gang you want to join you on the job.
The operators.
Got it. I'm sure they'll appreciate you thinking of them.
I bet you they can manage to keep looking bored through the whole thing.
That just leaves the target. Now for a new outpost, you'll usually want to target a spot with plenty of populated settlements nearby that might be able to feed our people later on. Taffington Boathouse, Croup Manor, Greentop Nursery, the Slog all had a good number of farms within striking distance last I checked. Though I'll need to go through my notes again. Make sure they're all still good to target. We're not always going to be able to run every job against every settlement. So, you ready to pick the spot for Nuka World's first new homestead?
We can't target certain settlements with certain jobs?
Unfortunately. Can't talk people off their land if there's no one around to talk to and the like. Most cases, I'll try to let you know why we can't target a place. But the biggest hindrance is if there's already some activity going on there. Though if that is the case, that Pip-Boy of yours might be able to give you some info on whatever might be blocking us hitting that spot. Now, you ready to pick that first settlement?
What were those targets you recommended before?
Croup Manor, Taffington Boathouse, Greentop Nursery, and the Slog. Again, I can't guarantee those will all be available targets till I check my notes. But if they are, they're certainly a good place to start. Now you ready to make your decision?
I'm ready.
Good. So, where do you want to hit? Let me... Yeah, that one will do. So, these sorts of jobs are pretty straightforward. Move in, kill everything in sight. Crew will be waiting for you when you get there. Help you deal with whatever you may run into. Now, you're not going to be able to take a direct route to the place. Fast way to get yourself killed. So you'll have to meet our folks outside town. Now, if you're looking for something to give you an extra edge, might be worth checking in with some of the gang bosses. Probably got some trick or two up their sleeves. The crew that's joining you is just gonna have standard kits though. If you want to arm them up differently, I'd take along some extra gear. Show those settlers who's in charge.
Hey, can I have your ear for a second?
Some kind of problem, Gage?
No, boss. Not at all. I just wanted to say that this, you know, the two of us working together like this, well, it's been a damn good time. I left Nuka World with you, hoping you'd be the overboss the gangs needed. Seems like I didn't need to worry in the least. No question you know how to take care of yourself, which is more than I can say for most. But damn, if you don't have fun doing it, and more than that, I know you got my back. I can trust you. I can't say that about anybody else.
What? You worried I'm gonna turn on you?
No, boss. Not anymore. But most raiders, you can't trust them. You know, I made some bad calls when I was younger. I ain't saying I regret the choices I made, just that early on, I was a little starry-eyed. First gang took me in when I was 16. Decent-sized group, fair amount of muscle, only they weren't using it as best they could. Me being new and young, I didn't know enough to keep my mouth shut. Started making suggestions about how to improve things.
Oh, I can just picture it now.
Excuse me, Mr. Raider Boss, but, I have an idea.
Yeah, that's probably about how it sounded. Eventually, the boss approaches me. Connor, his name was. I don't remember what stupid-ass name he used back then. The Harvester or something. It was never as intimidating as he thought it was. Laughable, almost. Anyway, at first I think he's pissed, like I'm undermining his authority. But he actually listens to me. He takes my advice.
And 3 weeks later, the two of you were married.
Very funny. So here I am, This teenage punk who's got the ear of what seems like the most powerful guy around. I'm on top of the damn world. Connor's always coming to me, asking what I think of his plans, telling me how much he trusts me. Can't lie, it all went to my head. After something like a year of working closely together goes by, we come up with this plan to make peace with a rival gang. We work the whole thing out in secret, where we meet on neutral ground, who does the negotiating, and what happens if shit goes south. I was more than happy to take point on negotiating, with 3 of our biggest guys to back me up in case no one took me seriously.
Since we're talking about it, I'm assuming the story doesn't end with your death.
Brilliant. No wonder you're in charge. About an hour in, they're just starting to come around and realize the deal is in their best interest. And then, I hear it. Gunfire and explosions. Lots of both. At first I'm thinking, oh shit, something went wrong. Connor's gonna have to bail us out. But the more time that goes by, the more I start to realize what's happening. The fucker set me up, and I fell for it. See, he figured he's pumped me for all the information I was good for. Have me around for much longer, I'd be a threat to his position. So he used us as a diversion, something to keep the other gang's attention while he and his men ambush them. He gets their stuff, and I just happen to die in the crossfire. Perfect day for him.
This right here, Gage, this is why you can't trust anyone.
Don't I know it? I find myself on the other side of this whole thing. Messed up, but alive. I can't go back. The one guy I thought I could trust tried to get me killed. Thought about going in shooting, but that was just anger, revenge talking. And I knew where that would end up. So I moved on. Promised myself I was never gonna be that stupid again. Was never gonna trust anyone to do anything but look out for themselves.
Life is hard. No way around it.
Don't I fucking know it. Ever since that day, I ain't trusted nobody. At least not beyond how useful they can be to me. You, though, you're the real deal. I finally found somebody worth fighting with. Something worth fighting for. I don't mean to make it weird or nothing. I'm just saying, this is a real good thing we've got going here.
I appreciate the thought and all, but let's not let things get uncomfortable. Can we just stick to a working relationship here?
Oh yeah, shit. Sorry, boss. Didn't mean nothing by it. Well, I figure this is enough sharing or whatever, yeah? We probably ought to get back to it. But really, thanks. I mean it.
Taking along some extra gear might be good if you want to warm up the crew.
Hi.
Boss, let's chat. Shank says you might need our help vacating the squatters living in our new digs. And ain't it just your lucky day? Wait till you see what I got. Found some toys a couple operators left on their corpses in a back alley. Not sure how they got themselves dead like that. No shame. I took them apart and made a little something different out of the parts. It was just gonna be a toy for my pets, but it's more useful than that. Beasts find these things irresistible. Toss them on the ground and anything nearby and hungry will come a-running, ripping anything in their path to pieces. But you're gonna want to be a safe distance away, because, well, things leak a little. Don't want to end up becoming a snack yourself. Oh, and here, take this paper. It'll show you how to make more. Don't look so surprised. We ain't all knuckle draggers.
A bag of animal bits? Well, this isn't the worst thing I've ever been given. Thank you, Mason.
You're welcome. And when you're putting that to good use claiming new haunts, Don't forget us, all right?
Hey, boss. Was wondering when you were gonna come see me. Heard you're collecting toys to help you mark us out some new stomping grounds. Well, ours is, without a doubt, the finest little piece of hardware you've ever laid your eyes on. Sure, she may be based off some shitty operator tech, but a little Dixie love and some fine tweaking go a long way. Let's just say, them fever blossoms ain't no joke. Mix them with just the right ingredients, makes people madder than a hornet's nest. Perfect for convincing any meddlesome settlers to rip each other apart.
Oh, so it's like an instant playdate.
I like how you think, boss. Only wish I could watch the show myself.
Hey there.
Scouted them out, boss. Just some nuisances this time. Nothing a little firepower won't fix. Time for us to move in?
There anything I should know about the place we're about to hit?
Seems pretty straightforward. We live, they all die. Now, time we get started?
Let's get this show on the road.
Hell yes.
Got it. Sweet. That's it.
Ever seen a dust angel? Bet you I could make one.
Yeah, I'm thinking this place will do. At least once we get some supplies coming in. You ought to head back, boss. Let him know how it went.
Shank.
Well, well. Word going around is there's some new raider boss tearing up the Commonwealth. Not too shabby.
It's a damn good start.
I'll make sure your cut of any caps the outpost pulls in are waiting in your quarters. So, now that we got part 1 on the books, we can move on to part 2, provisions. If you want to hang on to this newfound territory, you're going to need to convince a nearby settlement to start handing over shipments of supplies. I'll make sure those shipments get distributed direct to the outpost. Any caps they provide will be waiting in your trunk up in Fizztop. And the more a settlement produces for itself, the more of each we can get them to cough up. Now, like before, the method's up to you. You can try talking to them yourself, convince them to hand over the goods, or you and a crew can introduce some bullets to some kneecaps.
Why stop at kneecaps?
There any details I should know about these methods?
Well, these jobs run pretty similar to those for claiming territory. Using force will give you more places you can target. Plus, settlers can't just blow you off. You try scaring them into paying up without laying some groundwork first, it could end up being a costly endeavor. Now, any thoughts on how you want to do this?
Let me talk to them. I'll get them to hand over what we need.
Sure. So, which crew you want keeping an eye on the place once you get them to bend the knee?
The disciples.
Sounds like a plan. Then all that's left is the target. Only wrinkle is that it's got to be near our crew's new outpost. No settlement's just gonna hand over goods if there's no one close by to follow up on threats. And if you ever want to see for yourself which settlements are within range of our outpost, you can check the map in your Pip-Boy. The Slog might be a good choice to hit, though I'd have to confirm that's still the case. So, what's the target? Huh. Was that... Wait. Pretty sure that place is one of yours, boss. That's where you want to hit?
Does that matter?
Only if you want to keep control of it. Targeting a settlement for a job is gonna break whatever connections you might have had to the place. Worth taking a moment to consider how much you like having that spot under your thumb. So, that the target?
Don't you ever question me.
Of course not, boss. So, to get these settlers to cough up provisions, they need to know that we aren't a crew to be trifled with. You can try convincing them to pay up, or you could rough them up some. Let them know we mean business. Lizzie Wyeth with the operators ought to have some tools you can use to make things easier. And if none of that works, well, I suppose you could always try paying one of them to convince the rest. And it's worth remembering, the more populated or heavily defended a place is, the more prep work you're gonna have to do to get them to bend. But, you got options. Good luck.
Understanding the operators ain't hard. We know how to live. The other gangs, well, dying is more their strong suit.
Hey,
Overboss. A pleasure. Shank said you might need some tools to ease relations with the people of the Commonwealth. Well, you've come to the right place. I've put together a couple of toys that should make getting what you want out of those rubes easier. Only thing we ask in return is that you remember the operators when you're handing out new territory on the other side of the mountains.
what exactly have you got?
So, first up, something to manipulate a target. It's a homemade distillation brewed to mimic human flight pheromones. Toss one of these grenades at the feet of your target, and convincing the wary settler suddenly becomes a much simpler affair. Now, to function effectively, I had to make the formula precise. So it's not going to work on people in any of the big towns like Bunker Hill or Diamond City, nor on caravanners. But for your purposes, hitting settlements out in the Commonwealth, it ought to give you a serious edge.
Stink bombs. Lovely.
Just give them a try first, Overboss. I think you'll enjoy the results. Here. Only had enough to make the one locally, but you can take the recipe as well, should you find yourself wanting more. So, the other trick up our sleeve is a little more broad spectrum than the grenades. Gulp down a couple lungfuls, and anyone you speak to will be far more apt to give you what you want. Plus, I've winnowed down the addiction risk to near zero, so no need to fear repeat usage. Here. Ingredients for that one have been tricky to find, but between that and the grenade, you should have no problem getting at least one settlement under your control before you have to brew up your own. And just remember us when you're crushing those poor settlers underfoot, hmm?
Hey.
Raider radio station. Like I need that in my life. Yeah? Help you with something?
You ever heard of Nuka World?
The theme park with all the raiders? Sure. Why?
Never mind. I'm leaving.
All right.
Hey, you.
What happened? Yeah? What is it?
This place is gonna start giving me and my gang in Nuka World a cut of everything you grow, make, or find under the damn couch cushions. Understand?
That's an interesting proposal. I'm sure we can come to some kind of mutual understanding.
Listen, you're gonna start working for me now, all right? Just keep the supplies coming and we won't have any problems.
Fine. If it'll get you off my back. Now please, get the hell out of here.
Sounds like they're gonna tear the place apart if we don't get the hell out of there.
Then I guess we'll just have to let them know who they're dealing with. You did good. Now get going. The adults are gonna discuss this. Figure this would happen sooner or later. Our outposts caught the attention of some of our new neighbors in the Commonwealth. An outside crew of raiders think we're honing in on their territory. Sounds like they're planning to tear the place up, and our people with it. Suppose this provides us a good opportunity to make an example. You thinking what I'm thinking?
Mayhem and destruction is what I'm thinking, for what it's worth.
Were you thinking about throwing an ice cream social, too?
Wasn't my first idea. No. Look, boss. Raiders of the Commonwealth, all those mutts understand is force. And I'm thinking it's time you and them came to just such an understanding. But you should probably get going. You wouldn't want to keep our new friends waiting. Wouldn't be neighborly.
Who's in charge around here? I'll tear their heart out. I want the head of whoever's running this shit show brought to me on a plate. You, the Nuka World waste pile that thought you could move your gang into Sinner's territory and live? You give me one good reason I shouldn't slice you open and eat your heart right here.
Look, I'm sure there's a solution that helps us all here. Let's figure something out.
To hell with that. We got enough trouble from the other gangs around here, poaching our scores. Ain't no room for another crew. Now explain to me why I shouldn't just gut you.
You listen closely. This land is ours. So turn around and crawl back under whatever rock you came from. Right now.
Whoa, easy. Take it easy, all right? Sure, just, you know what, keep it. Place was a shithole anyway.
Hey.
What's up, boss? More than happy to hold all the expensive stuff. Got him. Be able to move quick if we need it, boss. Might want to drop some of that shit you're lugging around. Let's have some fun.
Hey.
What you need?
Over here.
Yeah, all right.
Hey, Shank.
Heard some rumbles, this one didn't get you either. Figure I shouldn't be surprised.
Oh no, Shank. I died. I'm a ghost.
Well, your secret's safe with me, regardless. So I suppose your recent success brings us to the next step. Loyalty. Without loyalty, everything that's yours ain't. And to keep a crew loyal, you need to keep them happy. Now, Keeping raiders happy isn't real hard. Just have to make sure they've got their basic necessities, just like any other settlement. That they've got some things to keep them entertained, and that their food's taken care of, which, with raiders, well, isn't like dealing with other settlements. Now, if you want me to go into detail on any of that, you just say.
I want to know more about managing the outposts. Basic necessities.
Day-to-day needs. They're pretty straightforward. Just need to make sure you've set up solid defenses. Plenty of beds under cover, and enough clean water to go around. Not much more to it than that. Was there anything else?
Tell me more about providing food for the outpost.
So, managing your outpost's food can get a little tricky. No one ever joined a crew to dig in the dirt, so you'll want to make sure you've convinced enough settlements to supply your gang. People at the outpost can farm in a pinch, but they sure as hell won't be happy about it. Now, if you're ever wondering if your outpost has enough food, you should take a look in your Pip-Boy. It ought to have a page that'll show you everything your outpost currently needs, food included. If they're low on grub, it's probably time to get a new settlement supplying you. Or you could always drop some food direct in their workshop if it comes to it. Now, was there something else?
What can you tell me about entertainment for the outpost?
Well, it's a damn handy way to keep folks distracted if you're lacking in certain basics. Constructing pick-me-up stations or getting one of your crew working on a booze still will certainly help lift your outpost's spirits. And if the place has got a Nuka World transmitter powered up, you can construct amplifiers to help as well. Anything else I can answer for you?
I think I've got everything I need to know.
Sure. If you've ever got more questions, you come find me. Or you can always consult that Pip-Boy on your arm. No better tool to tell you what your outpost may be hurting for. Now, this time around, seems the outpost doesn't need much setting up. Means we can start looking onward. And with the place in as good shape as it is, I was thinking it might be time I set up shop there. Save you a trip anytime you want to run a job. You just let me know if that's something that'd interest you. Be good to make some trouble in the Commonwealth again. So, you ready for the final piece of the puzzle?
And that is?
Bodies. And not the kind the disciples like to leave sitting around. Because what you've made is a foothold. To solidify our place, our outfit's gonna need some real numbers. 2 more outposts carved from the Commonwealth ought to do the trick. Get all that together, and, well, we'll have a real base of power on our hands. With that kind of clout, we'll be able to start setting up dealers at our outposts. Get to selling stuff like real damn towns. We keep expanding from there, we'll even be able to set up spots where the locals can come drop off tribute. But I'm getting ahead of myself. For now, you'll want to start by claiming another 2 outposts. You just let me know whenever you want to get rolling on those jobs. So, boss, what's the plan?
Answer some questions for me.
Shoot.
Is there anything our outpost needs at the moment?
Actually, boss, sounds like you've got all the necessities taken care of. If outposts aren't getting to where you need them to be, you could try building some entertainment, like a pick-me-up station, an amp and transmitter, or a booze still. Was there anything else?
Remind me, what's the best way to keep outposts happy?
Well, you want to make sure they've got all the necessities. Defenses, beds, water, and food. Ideally coming in from a settlement you've convinced to hand over supplies, but you can always drop some direct in their workshop if need be. Beyond that, you could build them some entertainment, a booze still, pick-me-up station, an amplifier if you've got a Nuka World transmitter set up. And if you're wondering what they're lacking, best thing to do is check your Pip-Boy. It's got a page with all the information you could need on what your outpost might want. I'm also willing to share whatever I hear. And lastly, don't make them farm. Lose a lot of goodwill from your gangs by making them pick fruit. So, Was there something else?
What do I need to take into account when intimidating settlements?
Well, the bigger and more fortified your target is, the more work you're gonna have to do to get them to crack. But using tools from the operators, building a Nuka World transmitter within range of the settlement you're trying to target, they'll make it easier. Plus, the more outposts you've got nearby your target, the more interested they'll be in what you've got to say. You had any other questions?
That was it.
Got it. Something else I could do for you?
I want you to head to an outpost.
Yeah, sure. Where am I going? Suppose I better get a move on then. See you there, boss. Hey there, boss. You looking for me to set up a couple jobs so we can start claiming those 2 outposts? Or did you need something else?
Looking to run a job.
Works for me. What type of job did you want to run?
A new outpost. I want to get one set up.
Got it. So how'd you want to approach it? Talk them into leaving yourself? Or you and a crew putting some lead in them?
Get me a crew. That settlement's not gonna know what hit them.
Sure. And which gang you want to join you on the job?
The Disciples.
Done. So, where you want to do this? Let me... Yup, that place'll do. So you know how this job works. Head to the target, put down anything that moves. I'll make sure you've got some backup waiting to lend a hand when you get there. Show those settlers who's in charge. I was just getting started.
Hey, boss. Gotta look at what we're up against. Bunch of pests have run of the place. Wanna move in? There anything I should know about the place we're about to hit?
What? You nervous, boss? I wouldn't sweat it. You picked the right gang for this. Now, how about we get started?
Let's get this show on the road.
Hell yeah.
Hey, Shank.
Hey, boss. Just one more outpost to claim. You want me to set up that job, you just say. So, What do you mean?
Looking to run a job.
You got it. Just need the details. What job you looking to run?
My new outpost. I want to get one set up.
Sure thing, boss. You gonna talk to them yourself? Or should I get a crew to help you put them in the dirt?
I'll go have a word with them.
Yeah, sure. And which crew should I have join you once you've staked your claim?
The pack.
I'll send word along. Or Howl or something. So, where you want to do this? Yeah, that one will do. So, to get these folks to scram, you got two main options. Buy them out, or scare them off. Either way, the more afraid they are, the simpler or cheaper getting them gone will be. Any toys the operators gave you ought to make things easier. Claiming additional outposts within range of the target will also help make convincing them go better. But that's more big picture. Something to consider as you plan out future conquests. Scare them good, boss.
Hey.
Yeah? Can I help you?
Are you the one in charge around here?
About as much as anyone. Sure. Now, you want to tell me what it is you want?
I'm here for your land. You should leave while you can still walk.
Whoa, whoa. Take it easy, all right? Look, I can't just abandon this place. It's home.
You stay here another minute and trust me, you're gonna regret it.
Christ, no need to do anything rash, all right? Land's yours. Land's yours, okay?
Hey, you.
I'm going. Jerk.
Put your hands up.
Can't lie. If you break something, I'm likely to laugh.
Ah, the robber. Hey, I paid up, so get lost.
Hey.
What's up, boss?
Look alive, Gage.
Anything I can do for you, boss?
Are things all right between us?
We make one hell of a pair running together like this. I'm friggin' great, boss.
Is everything okay between us?
You're the best damn overboss anybody could ask for. And I just might follow you off the ends of the earth if you asked. That work for you?
Is everything okay between us?
You sure know how to have a good time, I'll give you that.
No, nothing.
If you say so.